How is it?
My name is Jonathan Macias, and I'm the Assistant County Manager over at Doña County. I've been with the county for about 6 years now, if you count my time consulting with them. And I also have supported with not only the Jetport and our fleet department, but also the newly created Government Relations Division. So you may have seen me in the halls and at the Roundhouse this last 60-day session, and I'll be there commiserating with you if and when the special gets scheduled as well. I wanted to start by saying thank you. Thank you for taking the time to be out here. And also thanking not only Jody Young over to my right. Jody, raise your hand. He is part of the operations here at the Jetport, and as well as our General Manager, Bill Province. Bill, where are you at? Raise your hand. I'm reminded seeing Bill over at our hospitality tent that it's for us to stay hydrated and well sugared, so please make sure you get some waters over here if you need them, or call out for them, and we'll make sure we get you taken care of. And then we've also got Clint out here that's been helping us with some of the logistics, as well as our facilities department over at the Doña County. So first, I just wanted to start by saying that this investment is the mark of a new milestone for the county. We were fortunate to be able to collaborate and coordinate not only with the governor's office, but also those that support us here in the community. It is the beginning of something new. At present, we want to be able to start opening up operations and starting to socialize that not only regionally, but nationally as well as globally. Many of you that survived the pandemic know that the story of globalization has meant that we need to start revisiting the way that we're looking at where our goods are made. And guess what? Right in our backyard here, especially across the border and in the region, we are at a great proximity to be able to do the likes of connecting with the Foxconn build out that's right across the border, as well as some of the other just-in-time materials that maybe need to make their way and be able to be stored here in a cold or dry environment. Those are the kinds of things that we're looking at. As you drove into the industrial park, which is overseen by Doña County, you will have noticed that there were several warehouses. You have expediters that work with many of the logistics of getting some of the computer componentry in and out of this region. And there's a host of others in terms of agricultural support, where you might see that grain and beans and other things are stored and then make their way out to other parts of the nation. You'll remember when we were working together on HB 19 that this was in terms of trying to see how we can capitalize between the 10-hour distance from here to the port of Long Beach, as well as north to even connect with the likes of Gallup, and to see how we can support the good things that are going on here in Doña County to be able to bring that prosperity, but also share it with the rest of New Mexico. And last but not least, we want to be able to do this not only by ourselves, but with our partners and our stakeholders, and with the likes of the New Mexico Border Authority, as well as the New Mexico Economic Development Department. Also the Border Industrial Association. Jerry, I saw you here, and Josh, thank you for being here. We work hand in hand with the likes of them to making sure that we are following the goals of the state, and then also making sure that those trickle down to meet the needs of what we're trying to do here when it comes to job creation and new sector growth. So what I'd like to do is turn it over to some of our other guests here, and also recognize and say a thank you to Chairman Small for bringing out the Legislative Finance Committee, as well as Representative Dixon. Where are y'all? I know we got to get super quick back on the shuttle, so we're going to go only till about 12:35, and then we're going to get the committee back on the shuttle. We'll take you out on the runway, and we'll talk a little bit more about the widening and the strengthening of this project. When it comes to the funding of this project, just wanted to have the call out and the thank you to Economic Development Secretary Rob Black, Transportation Secretary Rick Serdna, as well as former Secretaries Alicia Keys and Mike Sandoval, of which we have Alicia present today. Thank you. In terms of our run of show, I'll turn it over to Lieutenant Governor Howie Morales, and then we'll go over to Caroline Burkle for a couple of words on behalf of the governor. Howie Morales, a Democrat from Silver City, was elected Lieutenant Governor back in November of 2018, along with Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. Prior to becoming the state's 30th Lieutenant Governor, he served in New Mexico State Senate for 11 years on the influential State Legislative Finance Committee, so I'm sure you feel at home today. Howie attended Silver High School in Grant County. He put himself through Western New Mexico University, where he earned degrees in education and later earned a PhD in education from New Mexico State University, going on to be a classroom teacher and successful coach for a decade. Through his public career, Howie has been an outspoken leader for the New Mexico students, educators, and classrooms, and for the state's colleges, universities, and career technical programs. He advocates successfully for better pay, benefits, and for respect for educators throughout the entire educational system. However, Howie, I should say, was instrumental in the creation of the Early Childhood Education and Care Department, focusing on the scattered state efforts to assist families and their children in need. He has been a champion for after-school and summer learning programs across New Mexico, resulting in historic appropriations for the community-based nonprofit and other out-of-school time programs. A working partner to the Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham and the only Hispanic governor/lieutenant governor team in the U.S. today, Howie has been a strong voice for vulnerable residents of our state and a key advocate for rural communities. And most notably and most recently, Howie and Jim hopped in a car when we were working on our designation of disaster as a result of the rains in Vado. And we continue to work hand in hand, not only with him, but also the governor's office on trying to see how we can make sure that we bring rebuilding top of mind for them and the residents. So without further ado, Lieutenant Governor.
Good afternoon. It's so good to be here, and in many ways I feel it's a homecoming, having the opportunity to be here. And it's amazing when we see the potential that we have right here in Santa Teresa. Not only a celebration for South Central Doña County, but in reality, a celebration for the whole state of New Mexico. So when I say it seems somewhat of a homecoming, Secretary Keys, it's so good to see you. We spent many years working together, and it's good to see all the work that you began continue to move forward. The opportunities that we have, I think, are instrumental. Before I came on to speak right now, I had a chance to speak to Minority Floor Leader Cher and to Senator Gallegos, and they informed me that their kindness, they had a gift for me, and I'll be getting that in a bit. And it actually was a Bible that they're going to give me. And I think that's meaningful, because when we talk about politics across the country, and a lot of times it seems the division that's there, in the New Mexico Senate and the New Mexico Legislature, we really do make it a point to try to work together. And that spirit of collaboration, the spirit of the opportunities to have collaborative efforts really does show. And so thank you for that mention of that gift, because really that's the testament of what we're talking about today. When we're talking about the goodwill and the cooperation of what this means, and the importance of that for our region, for our state, working with other states nearby, working with our partners from Mexico just below us. So I think that these are the opportunities that we have, and to show that we can have public-private partnerships. We can have joint efforts from the state, local, and federal governments to have the results that we're looking for. So I think it's great. And why it's to me somewhat of a homecoming is because I'm here with my partners from the Legislative Finance Committees, and knowing the work that you do, and recognizing that during the time when I served there on Legislative Finance Committee, as Senator Campos and Director Salih will say, we didn't have the luxuries that our committees have now, and the revenues because of diversified economy. We're fortunate for the investments that the Legislative Finance Committee has done, that the work that the legislature as a whole has done in working together with us. And I know that those years that we spent that were extremely difficult, our chairman, Senator George Munoz, can attest those difficult decisions that had to be made today have lent itself to the celebrations of what we see. And I have to share that today is actually fitting, not only because our LFC partners are here, but because it also is National Aviation Day. And when please, big round of applause. And what National Aviation Day really does mean is that it gives us that opportunity to have connectivity from community to community, like a small community where I'm from in Silver City, that we can be connected to community in Taos, to see what we have with the expansion and the $20 million investment that came in with the leadership of Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham to ensure that we were going to have long-term economic growth, to have the possibilities for more cargo to be able to come in with like our Boeing 757 that'll be able to expand the operations right here. The possibilities that we have, I think, are going to continue to show, and I think that that's what you're going to hear from other speakers, and knowing that the importance of that we have from a perspective of global trade, and to recognize that the partnership and collaboration that I talked about that we have within the New Mexico legislature and the executive branch, that collaboration extends out to the benefits. And when we have partners like our county commissioners from Doña County, our staff, our partners like Movida, who are here with us today as well, these are things that we can continue to build on right here in the Borderplex, because the governor made it extremely clear that this was an area that we wanted to invest, and we're going to continue to invest, because having those partnerships are going to continue to pay off for us. And what a wonderful opportunity to have somewhat of a homecoming, to celebrate this, the expansion, but the reality, just the beginning of the possibilities that we have together. So congratulations to all. Look forward to celebrating with you as the day goes on.
Caroline, come on up. Caroline Burkle is representing the governor herself. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. On behalf of Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham, I want to thank you for inviting us to be here today. As many of you know, and as the Lieutenant Governor eloquently explained, the governor has been bullish about southern New Mexico and specifically the border area since he took office in 2019. In collaboration with former Secretary Alicia Keys, she's made numerous trips in here and she's put her money where her mouth is. A majority of the runway funding came from the governor's capital, and we're proud of that. We know there's more investments to come because she believes that this ecosystem here at the border region, including the borderplex and the developments that are coming, are critical not only to the state and the region, but also the world. So to that, I thank the Council General, Ponce de Leon, for being here today from El Paso. We appreciate the partnership we have with you and with our legislative leadership, the Chairman George Munoz, and Chairman Nathan Small from LFC. And we couldn't do any of this if we didn't work together to bringing a more prosperous state and country. Thank you so much.
So as promised, we are keeping it short, but I wanted to also recognize our international partners whom we do not see a future without being able to work in conjunction with them. So Mauricio is here as the Council General, not only for Ciudad Juarez, but also the El Paso area. Mauricio, if you'd like to stand up. Our corporate supporters and stakeholders, we've got a representative from El Paso Electric, Eric Montgomery, back there in the blue shirt. Eric, no pressure, but we need the future energy sources here today already. Hopefully you brought them on the back of your truck. And then I'd like to also recognize the team over at Bohannon Houston. Elaine Pickerling is back there. Duma Slate. And the many other countless engineers that allowed us to get this project delivered actually ahead of schedule from what I'm told when it comes to verifying with Chairman De La Rosa. So what we'll do now, and also forgive me, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize our Jetport board, which includes Terry, Paul, Griffin, and who am I missing? Ralph is also here in attendance. So thank you for helping be a guiding force in our Jetport board. This concludes our program. Feel free to load back onto the coach, and I'm sorry, we're going to do the ribbon cutting, and then we're going to load up to the coach. Sorry, I'm a little too excited about the getting us all back for the 1 o'clock.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cut it! Very well done.